Yo. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I don't know. I think I was finna keep counting. I said check 1 2. I was gonna say 3 4 5. I don't know why I was gonna do that. That would have been a little stupid. She said, "What's up, Shanna? What's good? Cal Hawk, what's the word? What's the word? Quilly, my man. Bang TV, what's up? What's up? Lawrence Lilly, real deal, real deal. I'm glad you're here, man. Real deal. You always got some good information, man. CJ, what's cracking? Coy, what's the word, brother? Marco, Tribe of Kings, what's good? What's good? Rodney Brady, my main man, New York City. Philly Slow, CW, Silverback. Maurice Evans, what's going on, brother? Libby, what's up, Libby? Sean J, what's good, bro? Omar, how's it going, man? Welcome, everybody. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button on your way in. Hey, Zach, when we post the link tonight, let's just use the link tree because now I have Right to Bed in the link tree as well. So it'll be a lot easier for everybody just to go to the link tree and then find what they need from there. C Smooth, thank you, brother. Fat guy with guns in the building. Gerald, armed citizen, what's up? Same OG. Figuring Fowler, Smitty, long way. Been a minute. What's going on with you, brother? Big Riz, Ken, True Howard, what's up, bro? Bang TV, what's good? I think I spoke to you already, but that's all right. I can speak twice. MTZ, what's going on? It's good to see everybody, man. Now I hope y'all here for it tonight because we're gonna have some fun in here. Not only fun like we always do, but you know we're gonna get some information. So as we get started, oh wait a minute, stop the press. That my uncle, Zach. I think my uncle in here. Get out of town. My main man, BP. What's up, brother? Man, I ain't seen BP. He's my mentor, in case y'all didn't know. Ain't seen him in a long time, man. That just made my night right there. That's pretty dope. Ro, what's good? What's good? Good to see everybody. While we waiting on everybody to come in, you guys hit the like button, please. I'm asking, not telling. 2A Syndicate, what's up, man? Hey, I got something for you, brother. I haven't shipped it out yet because I figured I could probably just meet you and give it to you. I want to ask a really quick question if there's anybody out here, which I know it is, that's yet to decide on carry or self-defense insurance. Day one was good. Is there anyone out here that hasn't chosen a route yet, or that has chosen or have chosen a route and still a little skeptical? Because I want to ask the right questions tonight so we can learn. If you didn't know tonight's, good to see you too, my brother. Sunday Backyard Farmer, what's good? If you didn't know, tonight's live is brought to you by Right to Bear. We also have them here as a guest tonight. Scott from Right to Bear is going to stop by. He's going to answer these questions. And I'm just as not green, but I'm still trying to learn like everybody else. So y'all got to help me out. We got to ask the right questions. This may be the right route to go. We'll see. We're going to find out. So all the questions I can't think of, please help me. Okay, Kane, I hear you, man. So we're gonna definitely listen to what this gentleman has to say, and then we'll ask whatever questions that we may have. All right. So, like I said, tonight's sponsor is Right to Bed. We're gonna post a link. I have the link in the link tree, so you can always go to the site and check them out. Real Rambo J, what's going on, young brother? It's my main man right there. How you doing? Oh, I got something funny, man. I got to show you, Rambo. I'm gonna post it on Instagram. It's hilarious. So in the meantime, let me pay the other bills. If you're not aware, June 16th, 17th, a regular meetup as well as the regular gun tube awards is going down in South Georgia, Thomasville, Georgia, to be exact, approximately 20 minutes or so outside of Tallahassee, Florida. It's a really dope event. As of right now, we are, well over 70% sold out. Tickets continue to sell. You can still grab tickets right now if you choose to. And I hope to see you guys there. All right. This thing will sell out 100%. I hope to see you guys there. I'm excited about it. We have Friday morning, the women's conference. Friday evening into the night, the meet and greet. Saturday morning, the official range day where we serve lunch, snacks, drinks, cooling stations, the whole 9 yards. And later on Saturday night, we do the RGAs, the regular gun tube awards, where we honor our content creators, followed by a super dope after party. We will be serving dinner at the award show. It's a lot. I'm starting to memorize it now, but it's a lot, y'all. But I look forward to seeing everybody there. Tap in. What's going on, bro? Good to see everybody. Welcome up. Hey, man. Fig Wig in the building.
What up, man?
What's up, big dog?
What's going on, bro?
How's everything, man, out there in the Midwest, over there by the East Midwest?
Cold like you? Cold.
Man, it's bad, man.
Cold,
it's real bad here.
Crazy cold.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Well, Sunday Backyard Farmer, you need to be at the meetup, man, if you got family down there. Same OG, what's good?
Drop the link out there. Go get you some tickets.
That's an absolute fact.
What's up, Cabo?
Cobb in the building?
Yep, Cabo in the building.
Cobber's in the building. Cobber brought us the USCCA guy, didn't he?
He sure did.
Shout out to Cobber.
I see BP in the building. What up, BP? What's up, man?
Man, that's dope, man. That made my night right there. It's good to see BP.
That's my hero, man. He's still my hero.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, he's my mentor, your hero, and I never take that away from you. You know, I think BP might have been the first guy to ever see your bare arms.
Probably.
It's weird, but it happened.
Homeboy Tactical, what up?
Homeboy Tactical, Charles Moore.
Bang TV,
what's good? What's good?
Kane, what's good, y'all?
If you guys don't mind, please hit the like button as we pile up in here a little bit.
Yeah, let's run it up early, y'all. Let's run it up early.
It's all good. If you guys got any questions, nobody answered me. Is there anybody that don't have carry insurance?
What up,
True? I'm gonna ask you, Zach.
Tour in LA.
Now I know your situation, but I'm gonna ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll even address this question to anybody in the live that feels like they may want to answer. Why, if do you feel concealed carry, self-defense, so on and so forth, insurance or coverage is important?
Well, I think it's important because I guess I kind of look at it like car insurance. I mean, you gotta. It's just in case. You never know what's gonna happen. We walk around every day, especially like myself. We walk around every day carrying a gun. You never know what's gonna happen. You don't want anything to happen, but if something does, you need to be protected. So it's one of those things. That's why it's important, because you want things to be protected. You don't want to end up going broke.
Yeah.
Trying to protect.
Now, I'll ask this question to the chat. Big Riz, what's up? Because I'm one of those people that was really green to the whole idea. Do you know that I didn't know probably up until a year ago? Now, mind you, I had already been on YouTube and all of this. Do you know that I didn't even realize that self-defense or carry insurance even existed?
I mean,
I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, I'm being honest.
It's not. I mean, it's new to a lot of people. You'd be surprised how many people own guns that I know personally who didn't. You can get insurance for that. Yeah. You don't got to go through Allstate and State Farm. There's companies that specialize in that.
I didn't know that. Is there anybody out there that don't feel or that feels this type of insurance is not important?
Crazy Mechanic, what up? What up, Jay?
Like, is this one of those? Jay the Budget Gun Buyer, what's good?
I did.
One of those subjects that you guys are kind of like, I don't really care about that stuff.
That's true, BP. So you can't afford to not have insurance in case anything ever happens. That's true.
Okay. So see, it was all new. It was all new to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, so I'm always trying to then when I started hearing about it and then people explaining it, and then you start hearing about real world cases that happen to people. And then they have all these legal fees. And then I didn't realize that law enforcement is likely to take your firearm if you get into, and it's not likely, they're going to take the firearm. You're going to need some level of you're going to need legal coverage. There's no way around it. So it's going to cost you some bread.
I see one, to me, is not important. Only one.
Who said that?
MTZ. It says to me it's not important.
I heard that argument. I heard somebody say, I don't think it's important because the likelihood of something happening is very slim. It's a weird way to think. If that's the case, you probably shouldn't have car insurance either.
Right.
Or life insurance.
Exactly.
Well, I guess you got life. It's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, eventually.
You don't know when, but it's going to happen. That one is.
You ain't gonna wait till you to decrepit laying in the bed and about to kick off and say, "Oh, somebody get me a policy."
Right, exactly. Refrigerated Q was good. Listen, if you guys don't mind, please hit the like button for me. I really appreciate that. It's very important. I've been on an unbelievable streak of going over 100 likes for so long. I'd like to do it again.
Baba King, the Queens. What up, Queens?
Queens in the building.
King Cali, what up, man?
Or health insurance, yeah.
Yep.
So that's interesting. That was MTZ, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I don't think it's important. I'd like to hear why you don't think it's important. I think that's really interesting.
How did you research the companion? Sean J, I don't know what that means, bro. Oh, the companies. Okay.
Oh, the companies?
Yeah, well, we have someone very adept.
Yeah, man, we got
right.
A good friend that's really good at this stuff.
Very good friend who knows.
And that's how we look through it. This was a super popular topic when we did it before. Like, I think I might have did the live twice because it got so crazy in the first live. And full disclaimer, when we had USCCA on here, man, much respect to that guy. I don't know how he made it out.
Yeah, because he
was probably really upset, man, because it was bad. I watched like 5 people just leave USCCA that night.
Right.
It was bad, man. I just saw on the news a guy jumping out his car with a pipe, hitting people's cars. And what would have happened had it been me? He jumped out on. I can only imagine what you would have did, man.
See, Bang TV, so he still didn't get his gun back.
See, Bang TV had a real world. Yes, he did. Eventually I'm going to bring him on here to tell his story. And now, he say he still haven't got his gun back. How long ago was that, Bang TV?
What up, T?
Twister, what's going on, brother?
Good to see you, man.
I'll say what's up to my homie Twister. He said he was just on the phone with me, man. CCW was the best. I just don't think it matter. I can't be the only one who think this, right? You might be. You might very well be by yourself on this. I don't know, man. MTZ, I think it's worth listening to this conversation tonight, brother. I think it's really worth listening to it so you can be like me, have a better understanding. Because it wasn't that I didn't think it was important. I just didn't know it existed.
I'd like to know he knows it exists. I'd like to know his thought process behind it.
Me too. MTZ, if you're willing to come on and say why you don't think it's important, you are absolutely welcome to do so. He said, I got my popcorn ready. I know Siege.
Right.
She's good, man. I warned Scott. I told him she's good, man. Oh, she's here too.
Hey, Siege.
Hello, Siege. How are you, ma'am? She is really good. She knows her stuff. How many likes we got?
77.
Oh, this is terrible.
Come on, y'all.
99 people, 77 likes. Twister, hit the like button. I feel like you didn't do it, and I need you to do it for me.
What up, Shogun?
OG the Shogun. Hit the like button.
John Moss. Peace, bro.
U.S. Law Shield got some pretty good feedback.
It did.
They really did. I mean,
Rick
wasn't
Ross,
bad.
what up?
So first, I'm gonna trust that everybody's gonna hit the like button.
What up,
But
Howard?
I'm going to go ahead and bring Scott in from Right to Bear. So if you wasn't aware, Right to Bear is our sponsor tonight, this week actually. So shout out to them for the sponsorship. I appreciate it. They have, from what I was able to see on the surface, but we're going to dig into it tonight. Pretty good plan, price, coverage. So I really want to just kind of dig into it and see what's to it. And if you guys have any questions, man, write them down. Anything you can think of right now. Now is the time. We I don't know how often we can get Scott, but we got him tonight. So let's see what's to it, man. So all right, we had 100 people. Hopefully the likes will catch up. Let's get Scott up in here, man, and we're gonna talk about it. Hey yo,
hey now,
Scott, what's up, brother?
Good.
Not too much. Hey, I'll come as often as you want me, as long as I survive tonight.
You're a bad man if you make it through the night, man. There will absolutely be a newfound respect for Right to Bear. But even before we bring her name is Siege, and she's super awesome. She's really good. Like I said, very nice person. She just knows her stuff, and she's gonna ask great questions. But without that, what can you tell us about Right to Bear? Right? Yep. Who is it? What makes you guys different from, say, USCCA or any other companies that we are familiar with?
Right. All right. Well, first off, I want to thank you for bringing us on, but also everyone who has someone, even if it's not Right to Bear right now, I'm happy that you have something. Now, I hope you'll switch over to Right to Bear. But before I even talk about Right to Bear, just real quick, you're talking about the different insurances. And it's funny when I'm out in the community, I'm talking to people, not even with just Right to Bear, with some other things I do. It's amazing how many people have cell phone insurance, but don't even think about having carry insurance. And you're talking about $1,000 phone, maybe you're talking about $100,000 attorney fees. So, and for about the same price. But Right to Bear is the most value-centered, cost-effective self-defense legal plan in America. You're not going to find a better price, especially for what we offer. And we're backed by $1 billion in assets. We have the backing of a company that, some of these other companies that are out there, and I don't want to go into names, but some of them are totally membership driven. So they're building up pools of money. And if all of a sudden, let's say 5 or 6 of their members end up having an incident and it draws from that money that they have, they could end up running out of money to protect everyone else. We're the only company in America that's backed by $1 billion in assets. So we're always going to have our members covered. And also one thing that's good about, we talk about insurance, but I hate to really call it insurance sometimes. Right to Bear is a membership associate program. So with some of the other programs, it is insurance. You're added to their insurance policy. And the thing that scares me about that is you can't insure an illegal act. So with some of those companies, if it's a true insurance policy, if you are found guilty or you plead guilty to a lesser charge, you have to pay back all the fees. There's a recapture that they're going to do to get all that money back, and where that can come into play. And I was in law enforcement in Florida for 2 decades, and I've seen plenty of times, let's say someone gets arrested for aggravated assault, and they're maybe facing 15 years in prison. And at some point, the state attorney, as it's called in Florida, comes to you and says, "Hey, we'll plea this down to a misdemeanor, reckless display of a firearm, adjudication withheld, credit time served. You're not going to do anything. Pay a $1,000 fine." That might be a really good deal, rather than gambling against that 15 years for the felony.
Yeah.
But if you're with one of those other programs, and you got to think, well, if I take this plea deal, and they've already paid $50,000, $75,000 to the attorney, and I got to pay that back, I don't have that money. So now you gamble and you lose, you spend 15 years in prison. I'd much rather have a plan that says whatever's best for me is what I can do, and I'm not going to have to worry about paying anything back. I pay my $125 a year, and that's it. That covers me. And that's one of the big things that sets Right to Bear apart. is that we've got that $1 billion assets, and we're going to be there for you start to finish. There's no insurance policy per se that's going to kick in and make you have to repay it.
Okay.
So Kelvin,
Siege, whenever you let me know when you're ready, I'm gonna allow people to come by and ask a few questions.
Sure.
Here and there, whatever questions they may have. I will ask this. This is like my favorite tough question. This is my favorite tough question. What would you say if I was the competitor?
Yep.
Or I was the naysayer of right to bear? What would I say that you guys don't have? What would I say is wrong with your company?
Right now, probably the thing that we're lacking the most is the training videos and the training aspect. You know, USCCA, because they really are, if you look at their language, they're a training company that offers this insurance. So they do beat us on the training, and that's something that we recognize and we're working on to do better in training videos and getting that up. But that's the weakness with us. They're really that's the weakness. You know, everything else we're covering at or better than any other company out there. When you talk about you talked about one company earlier, US Law Shield, and a couple big differences with them is with US Law Shield, if you want an expert witness, you have to pay more every month on part of your plan. With Right to Bear, that's included. You don't know if that's going to come up, so we've included that. Also, Right to Bear, we offer the gun replacement. So if you're involved in a situation and you were talking with someone earlier on the greet that they had their gun and they've lost their gun and it's going on for a long time now, Right to Bear is going to replace that gun with a like size gun up to a certain point, up to $1,000, and that's included. That's not something you pay extra for. So,
at what point do you replace the gun? At what point is it?
So it's going to depend, because obviously we can't give you a gun while you're under indictment. So if you're under indictment, we can't give you the gun. But if you're not under indictment, you're just under investigation, we could replace that gun up until the point where there's an indictment. And then if it goes to indictment and then afterwards, as long as you're still legally allowed to possess a gun, then we can replace it then. So it just depends. If you get arrested that night, you're under indictment, we can't legally transfer a gun to you. So once the indictment is over, the case is over, if you're legally allowed to have that gun, we're getting one back to you.
Okay. I'm going to bring in a gentleman that said, damn that insurance. I don't believe in that. That's what I want to bring him in.
Sure.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man?
How you doing, y'all?
Good.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
So you said that you don't think it's necessary to have coverage?
Well, at some point. When you start out about it and explain everything just like that, for some people maybe, but for me, not necessary for me. Okay. I wouldn't put myself in a position to be like real about the firearm that I use. You know what I'm saying? Because there's multiple situations that my family got into behind a firearm that were taken away from them on a crime scene that they can still get back or won't get back. You know? It's just like, but the insurance is more like a little health insurance you got to look for. I don't understand the insurance part. If I'm found guilty, all the money that I put into it, it's just wasting my money. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, okay, if I put all my money into this insurance for bear arms or whatever, and then something happens, it's more likely, I feel like, if I'm found guilty, even though it's hard to prove it, it's like I just waste all my money. I feel like it's not necessary. It's like you're gonna just build a situation you're in regardless. It's I would have liked it.
He want to ask you a question.
Can I ask you a question, MTZ? One quick question. What if you're found not guilty and it cost you $80,000 for that attorney to be not guilty, is that gonna matter different to you?
If I was found not guilty,
Yeah, you're not
and
getting
it
that money back
cost
from the attorney, so you'd be out that money. But let me throw one other little wrinkle for your part on this. With right to bear, we don't just cover you if you're in a self-defense situation with a firearm. We cover you if you're in any self-defense situation. So let's say you're at Circle K, you're at 7-Eleven, whatever. You're just trying to get your food. Someone comes in and they're robbing, and all you got is you grab the chip display with the little spiky points and you just beat the heck out of them with that.
Beat the hell out of them, right?
You've used that weapon, right? Right to bear is going to cover you criminally and civilly. Finish.
Well, okay, check this though. On Louisiana, we have a stand your ground thing. Anybody come in here and I do that, I'm still rocking our feet. That doesn't do anything. There's no necessary for that right to bear. I'm found not guilty because you came on my property to do that. You see what I'm saying? So
Sure.
I'm just saying, outside of that, what could it do for me?
But
other than that,
so the insurance is more about the legal fees, bro. Like if you get caught, you get into a situation and you just had to defend yourself. I'm sure you carry a firearm every day. Something happens, and God forbid you had to defend yourself or your family. No matter where you at, it's going to be a situation until it's fixed. So you're gonna need lawyers. Now, if you got bread and you got the bag to take care of it, then by all means.
Yeah.
However, insurance is great, just like car insurance. You hit somebody, and you ain't got the money to fix their car. That's what your insurance is for. You see what I'm saying? Your insurance will pay for it. So that's kind of what this type of insurance is.
And you're focusing a little bit on the criminal. Remember the civil side. You shoot someone, whether you're justified or not. You shoot and kill someone, their family is going to sue you. And now you still got to defend yourself, because you can't just say, hey, this is frivolous. I don't know. You're in Georgia, you said?
Louisiana, right?
Louisiana. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure about Louisiana law, but in Florida, once you're served with a lawsuit, you have 20 days to file an answer. And if you don't file that answer, they can get a judgment against you. So having that attorney, if that happens to me, I'm just going to take it. Once I get it, I'm going to scan it in, send it to Right to Bear, and let them take care of everything. And now it's off my plate. So it's not just criminal. It's criminal and civil. And it's not just with guns. It's with any weapon. So, I don't know about in your area. If you go to a bar, can you carry a gun?
Okay. So no, we don't carry firearm on bar. That's just how it is.
Same here. So now you're in the bar, you get attacked, and you fight and you defend yourself. And he said, she said, the witnesses.
I'm not trying to stop you on that.
Okay.
I've been a bouncer for 20 years. I've been in some fights in the bar.
Hey, I got something else for you, MTZ. We're one of the only companies. We're going to cover you on duty. If you're a bouncer and someone tries to sue you because you were using self-defense to stop something, we're going to. Did it cost you any money for an attorney?
No, I've been there. I don't need that. That's the thing.
Okay.
I've been there. Even cops been outside the building behind us. I've been there for 20 years.
Yep.
I've been there. I've been in a situation where outside of the club, I have to actually, with my firearm, I did what I could do with a guy. I've seen certain things that I don't want to talk too much about. It's I don't know what it's like in the state where you're from, but in Louisiana here, we actually mostly like self-defend ourselves in the way we know we can. It's not about like the insurance is something new. It's something new to me. So that has been created maybe just to have extra money for something. I don't know what. Maybe I look at it as there are a middleman coming between me and a judge or something, like a lawyer, like a middleman, the insurance thing with the gun. That's how I look at it. Like, okay, what I need the middleman for,
Yeah.
It's like I've been in a lot of situations.
I see it as if I'm found guilty, they pay for it. If I'm not, they pay for it. Either way, that's a win-win to me. If it costs $200,000 to defend myself, whether I'm guilty or not, that's a win-win for me. That's how that to me that makes sense.
So MTZ, I'm sold.
I hear you.
I'm sold on your view, man. So if you got, you stuck on that, you stuck on your belief. I respect it, brother.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming in and giving us your point of view. You in Louisiana, you feel like it's not necessary for you. I understand that. I want to give some other people a chance to come in, ask some questions, but keep listening though, man. You might hear something that makes sense to you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm almost convinced. It's like I understand that situation. I
Hey,
understand that
thanks,
situation.
MTZ, for being here, though. Man, I appreciate the questions.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you, bro.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate it all, man. That's all good.
All right, man. You
That's
take
all
it easy,
good.
bro. Be safe out there.
You too.
All right, man.
All right.
Yeah, bro. Peace.
I guess we have to agree to disagree on that one, but I think, I mean, he had some he made some points that he believes. So
Right.
I am going to go ahead and bring in Siege, and then I'm going to bring Real Deal. These guys have great questions, but I'm going to go ahead and bring Siege because this is going to be your challenge for the evening. All right. So we're going to get that started while we can. And what's up, everybody? Anybody that came into the chat I didn't get a chance to speak to, guys, please hit the like button. We have Right to Bear in the building tonight. If you guys don't have self-defense coverage or insurance, listen tonight.
Scott, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Because you said that you guys are backed by $1 billion.
Yes.
So explain that a little.
So the company that backs us, there's $1 billion in assets through that company that helped found Right to Bear. So when anything happened, when we were starting up, we needed money for the website. That was the company that was getting the ball rolling. They're backing us financially, and they have a tie to the company. So if anything happens, you never want to say an endless supply of money. But barring some type of financial meltdown, there's billions of dollars that are backing this. And that's one leg up we have over every other company out there, because they're either membership driven or marketing driven, and they're or an insurance product. And ours is different.
So Scott, I want to introduce you to Siege. Siege, can we hear you tonight?
I hope so.
Yes, we can. Yes, this is beautiful.
Right. Hi, Scott.
Hi, how are you? She's already got a pen in her hand.
I put my pen down. Sorry.
She's taking notes.
So I gave you all the one, and I'm gonna give you Scott. So
yep.
she is who I go to.
It's not that bad.
Have these questions. She's not bad at all, but she's who.
I'll do my best. If I don't know something, I won't lie. I'll try to get an answer for you.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna do. Siege show tonight.
So let's start with the policy, the way the policy is written. Is there a named insured? Is it Right to Bear, or is it me, the customer?
It's not an insurance policy.
So there's no named party on the policy.
Membership, correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that policy covers how many people in the household can it cover up to?
So the one price, the 125 covers one person. You can add a spouse or a partner in the household for $105 more for the year. Okay. And then you can add minor children that live in the home, full or part-time. You can add them, and there's no cap on the number of children. So if you got 10 kids, it covers all 10 of them. But that's one fee, not per child. It's one fee, $35 a year for all of the kids, whether they live full or part-time.
Okay. So let's just stay with the charges since we're there. So it's $125 a year, flat fee, an additional $105 to add a spouse.
Correct.
An additional $35 to add minor children.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
What about any other add-ons, or is everything else include all 50 states except for New York, New Jersey, Washington State?
So all 50 states. And so on the website, it's a little bit, we do cover all 50 states, including New York, New Jersey, and Washington. The website's a little not clear. We're working on getting that fixed. We can't offer memberships to residents of New York, New Jersey, or Washington State, but we will cover you if you're a member from anywhere else and you're traveling through there. But yes, we do have the 50 state protection, which is an add-on for $35 for the year.
Okay, so that's plus 35.
Yep. And then the bail bond coverage is $35 for the year.
Bail is plus 35.
Yep.
Okay.
And the bail bond covers you Up to $100,000, they'll pay the $10,000 the bail up to that rate. But here's what's great about the program too, is when you have an attorney right away, you can usually get that bail reduced. Yes.
Right.
So like the guy in New York City, who the bodega worker who defended himself and got arrested for murder. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. 60-something-year-old man, he ended up with a $500,000 bond because he didn't have an attorney right away. $500,000 bond, spent 7 days on Rikers Island until his family was able to get an attorney that went in, did a bail reduction hearing to $50,000 and got him out that day. If he had had an attorney right away, like with our program, he could have had that bail reduction established right away. And then if he had the bail bond coverage, it's paid. So it's important to have.
Okay, let's go to, and I'm asking the questions that everybody else is going to ask too.
Absolutely.
Let's go to attorneys. Select your own attorney, or is the attorney assigned by Right to Bear?
So immediately you're going to have an attorney from Right to Bear, our program attorney. Immediately, that's who you're going to talk to on the phone. That's who's going to start everything. You can choose your own attorney, but if you choose your own attorney, there's just going to be a vetting process to make sure that attorney is the right type of attorney. We don't want
a criminal defense attorney, yes. Right? You don't want a real estate attorney handling your.
Yes. So our program attorney will vet with them just to make sure and work on all that, all that stuff in the background. But yes,
you can select your own. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a rapid response team? In other words, a group of people that will hit the ground, boots on the ground where you live if you are arrested, so that they can contact your family, retrieve your cell phone, make contact with your attorney, make sure the bond is carried out, get the judge out of bed so you can reduce your bond in the middle of the night. Do you have a team that does that?
We do not have a rapid response team, no. But part of that's covered with if you do have the time to call your attorney, then he's going to start some of that in process, where if he, obviously he can't, where he's at, if you're arrested in California, he can't go run down to the courthouse. But in the meantime, he could call for an attorney in California if needed to get the ball rolling so that it can happen. And then it can shift back to him or go with whichever attorney you want at that point.
So the attorney that you call 24 hours a day, every day.
Yep.
So the attorney, you get arrested, you call that number, the attorney is going to answer, or does a customer service person answer?
No, it's attorney answered. And here's the beauty of it too. It's not just when you got arrested. Here's what I always tell people when I'm talking about it is, if you've been involved in a situation where you've defended yourself, then what I recommend you do, and this is kind of more Scott Thompson, not necessarily just Right to Bear, but what I recommend is, when it's safe to do so, call 911 and get them on the way. But remembering that that's a recorded line. So anything you say,
call and hang up is what I say.
Well, and here's what I say, and it's a little bit different. But I was the victim. I had to defend myself. I need law enforcement and ambulance. And that's it. And there's two reasons why I do that. One, it gets them on the way. But two, it also puts on tape. So if it ever needs to come up in court, criminally, I learned this from an attorney, criminally or civilly later, your attorney can now point to that 911 call and go, see, no matter what the state's trying to say, or no matter what the person suing them is trying to say, is from the get-go, my client was the victim. And
I say the same thing. I've always told the people in this group, if you're ever involved in any type of incident, the first one that makes the phone call is the one that gets the advantage. Yep. So you need to pick the phone up and make the call and say, this is my name. This is where I am. There's an incident. I need police to respond. I need medical response team.
Yep.
And then hang up. Don't keep talking. Correct. Then call your attorney. So then we call Right to Bear. That attorney is going to liaison with an attorney in the state where you're located. I'm guessing that's the process.
Yes. And yes. And so when you call that number that's on your card or programmed in your phone, you're getting that attorney right away. And another thing I tell people is, don't be standing somewhere talking to your attorney about what happened with
when other
anyone around
people
you.
are listening.
Right.
Correct.
Because you'd be surprised how many people, I've talked to some attorneys that have gotten phone calls like this, and they hear the police radio and they go, "Where's the police?" "Oh, he's standing a couple feet away." So, make sure you step away from everything, make that phone call. Yes. And get the ball rolling.
Okay. Criminal and civil.
Yes.
Uncapped.
Uncapped, no fees. And I see a question in the thing that kind of ties in with this. And I'm going to tell you that when we say start to finish, if it goes to appeal to the Supreme Court, it's start to finish. We're going to cover.
Okay, that was my next question.
Yep,
so you do cover appeals.
Everything all the way through from start until this is done. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so civil. Please make this clear for people because I think this is a big point and we often miss it.
Yes.
Civil covers the civil trial only, not the civil penalty or the civil award. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. It does not cover the judgment. It covers the attorney's fees, all the attorney related things for that civil case. Yes.
Okay. Do you have a limit on experts, number or dollar wise?
I don't want to give the wrong answer there. My inclination is to say that there's not a limit on the expert number or dollar amount. Obviously a case by case basis, what's needed. But I don't want to give the wrong answer, but my inclination is there's not. And what I can do is try to follow back up with RGG to let you guys know on another.
Okay. Podcast. All right. You already said there's no recoupment. So that's clear. We went over the attorney thing. Counseling. Is there a dollar limit or a number of sessions limit?
20 sessions. Yes.
20 sessions.
Oh, that was a great question. I would have never thought of that. That's why we bring seeds.
That was good. I'm
glad. Because that's what health insurance policies have. Every policy has some kind of limit. So I know that there's usually some number or dollar amount. So it's 20 sessions. Any counselor of your choice?
Yes.
Okay. We went through all states. Experts, we're going to double check and see if there's a limit. We talked about bail. I don't really have any questions about the training videos or part. I'm not really concerned about that. But the replacement of the firearm, did you say there was $1,000 limit?
Yes. Yep. So up to $1,000. And like style gun. So if yours was how they're going to gauge that $1,000, if you had a $200, if the replacement value for the exact gun you had was $200, they're going to get you that gun. They're not just going to give you the money. They'll get you the gun or a similar gun to it.
Oh, so they're replacing the firearm. They're not cutting you a check.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So are they replacing the exact make and model, or are they replacing a 9mm?
If they can get that exact make and model and it's under that 1,000 threshold, then yes. And with our partner network, I'm pretty confident we can get most readily available, most guns that are out there being used.
Okay. Who's your partner? Who's the partner that you're speaking of?
No, our facility partners, because we offer right to bear through. There's over 300 gun stores, ranges, and instructors that partner with us and offer our product to other people. So through them, we can find, if there's a specific gun and it's something unusual, we can find through our partners to do that.
Okay, somebody just asked Average Arms just asked that. How would they go about off-roster guns in California?
I'm not sure what an off-roster gun is. Can Average Arms, can you give a little more on that?
So off-roster guns would be so California has a roster of guns that technically they can only have unless they buy them on the private market. Yep. So if there is a gun that's off-roster, I don't know. Is that something you guys would cover? That would be something you have to look at. That's a weird question. A good question though.
Yeah, let me get an answer. Try to get an answer on that. Is he meaning if you have a gun that's not legal in California and you use it, or is he talking about getting a replacement?
No. So in California, And I have to get one of the California guys on here to actually explain it. But there's a roster of guns that you can go to the store in California and buy.
Yep.
But you can pretty much buy just about anything if you buy it on the private market in California.
Right.
So you can buy an off-roster gun in the private,
like a private transaction, me to you
Right.
selling it.
So if I can't have a, say, Staccato or something,
right,
it's not on the California roster, but I bought it in the private market, but my gun, I had to use it. Is that something you guys would replace? But I guess it's kind of whatever, as long as that gun was legal and it meets it's under the $1,000 threshold.
They can't buy it through a store. I want to get an answer on that, because typically we're doing it from an FFL to our member. So if it's off roster, it's not going through an FFL, it's going through private. I just want to make sure before I give an answer on that. So I'll follow up with you, RGG, and get that to you. I apologize for not having an answer for that one.
No, that was actually a good question.
That's a good
solid question.
What about red flag laws? Do you cover red flag? Because that's a hot topic. That's big.
It is. And I say yes. That's another one that I want to make sure. But I do believe that, yes, the red flag laws are going to be covered, at the same way that it's going to be the attorney, in-house attorney, unless you wanted another attorney, and then again be vetted through that to make sure that it's the proper attorney for that. But if that's different, RGG, I'll let you know.
Red flag laws.
Yeah.
Okay.
And have you or has your company successfully defended anyone that's been charged for using a firearm in self-defense? Have you gone to trial?
So I don't have the answer for that, but I will say this: in dealing with other attorneys from other programs, I worked for a different program. I don't want to say which one. Attorneys are real picky about using the word successful, because we can't use convictions as just the goal marker, because like I was explaining earlier about if you get an aggravated assault but you plead down to reckless display of a firearm, and that's a win. That could be a win for you. For me, that would be a win, but you still have that conviction, even if it's adjudicated. So it's a weird number, but let me follow up on that question, Siege, if it's okay, with the program attorney, and get back to RGG, and maybe he can kind of connect us also.
Because I guess what I really want to know is, do you have any attorneys in your organization that have gone to trial, that have actually gone to trial, through the trial with a verdict?
Yes, not necessarily. So let's take it outside of the scope of right to bear. So our attorney, the program attorney that we work with, is a retired federal U.S. prosecutor who's been, I hate to get politics involved, but he was involved with one of the Trump, what's the word I'm looking for? Impeachment cases. So
what's his name?
You know what? It's escaping me, and I didn't have it written down. I'll get that for you too.
Okay.
I wish I had that. I apologize.
She's good.
No, wage loss. Thank you, Kaba. Yes. Do you cover wage loss during the trial? And if so, is it a per diem?
That is a great question. No, we do not cover wage loss, but that is a fantastic question.
Okay. What about if you call for an ambulance to come to the scene and that ambulance takes you to the hospital? Will you cover that medical bill under any part of right to bear, or would that person have to have health insurance to cover it?
It would have to have health insurance. We don't cover any part of that.
That's fair.
Very good question.
I think that might be everything.
This is a good question on screen here.
So that is a fantastic question. So yes, if you have two different programs, absolutely, you can use ours with any one of them. Now, I can't speak for how much their attorneys are going to cooperate, but absolutely, Right to Bear will work with them as much as, and as the member, you actually get to decide. You would get to decide who's the lead and who's co in any defense you have. So if you did have U.S. Law Shield or USCCA or anyone else, yes, Right to Bear will work with them and give legal help. It just depends on who's the primary attorney on your case. So if you pick that the U.S. Law Shield attorney is on the case and that attorney says, hey, we don't want your help, then there's really nothing we can do to offer you help. But if you said, hey, we want to do your, Right to Bear, we want you to be our primary coverage, our primary attorney, then we'll work with anyone. We'll take advice. We'll assist. But I can't speak for, I'm sure the other companies would, but I don't want to speak for them. But yes,
you have to be careful with that because most policies have exclusions and exceptions, and it'll say, according to the date that your policy starts, if there is another policy that is the same, provides the same level or type of coverage, one could wash the other one out.
Okay.
So be careful in lining your policies up. Make sure you read the fine print, as they say, or make sure you get a really good answer from that company where you're purchasing the policy, because some companies don't allow you to stack policies. You can only have one.
Yep. And that's great. I'm glad that you have that insurance background. I don't. And ours isn't an insurance program. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's an excellent point.
So where can we read what you do offer, since you're not an insurance company?
So if you
because I went to your website and I called your number and I got a voicemail, which I didn't leave a message because I hate voicemails.
Yeah, and I apologize. I've never had a voicemail. I apologize for that. I know there was a lot of busyness. I don't know when you called. They were in SHOT Show last week.
I called.
She's got dates and times. I love it.
I told you, man. I tried to warn you. I mean,
well, it doesn't matter when I call. Anyway, it was last week, but
also Siege and SHOT Show was last week, which kind of threw some things up. But I don't want to make excuses. If you send an email to info@protectwithbear.com, and especially reference that you were on this podcast, you were part of this tonight, they respond very quickly to that, so they can help you get that answer. And if any of the other answers, if you don't want to wait for me, throw those in there that I wasn't able to answer tonight, and they'll get those answered. But great questions.
Hey, Real Deal.
Hey, what's up, buddy? So Scott, this is my buddy Real Deal. He's out in Indiana, a free state. Unfortunately, I'm not in one. And Real Deal's pretty good with this stuff too. He had some issues with another company that he was able to vet, and he didn't like what they offered, and he switched. So I'm sure he has some good questions.
All right.
Well, Scott, first of all, I'm going to say you're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
You know, we're all big guys. Not once have I saw a sweat rag come up to the forehead. You're on it, man. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
So a lot of my questions were answered, but I got a question for you. So
Sure.
Like RGG says, I live in a free state. So I have a firearm in my car. So say I went into the grocery store or I'm at work. Somebody breaks into my car, steals my gun, and uses it in a crime. And the police comes to arrest me or tell me I have to go talk to them. Do you cover that? Will you be with me if I have to go to the police station or if they arrest me?
Unfortunately, no, because our program covers the Self-Defense Act. So if it was an act of self-defense, so because your gun was stolen and then used in a crime, that's not under what we provide, unfortunately. I feel like I just lost all the compliments you gave me.
No, you're so good, man. You're so good. Hey, man, you know, I know you can't trash talk other companies, but I sure can. USCCA.
Oh, boy, here he goes.
And you are doing a good job. You're much better than they are.
Oh, excellent. I appreciate that.
So I heard, and you kind of answered this, but I wanted to ask anyways. So I heard at one point that if I have you and I decide to use another attorney, you'll cut a check out. But my question is, like, say you cut a check to pay for that attorney, and say you cut a check out for 80,000 and it ends up being 90,000. Do you still pay the attorney after you've vetted them, correct?
Yeah. We pay start to finish. So, if it's a situation where we get on kind of like the pay, for lack of a better term, pay as you go, we're not just cutting that one check. We're seeing you through to the end of your case.
That's right.
Criminally and civilly. We're not just going to drop you in the middle of it. Now, you brought up a competitor that you don't like.
And
they've had several situations. And I think what's driving their situation on that is because they're a true insurance program and there's that recapture. If you're found guilty or you plead guilty to a lesser charge, they look at it and go, hey, if it looks like you might be found guilty, then are you going to be able to pay us back? Why would we pay out another 100,000 if you can't pay the 80,000 we've already paid? And I think that's when they decide to cut bait. And I don't want to confirm that it was that company, but I've dealt with an attorney on the East Coast of Florida, who he was in a situation where a woman was covered by, let's just say them. And she was an elderly woman, late 70s. She's got a bunch of acreage. She has a fence. A couple guys jump the fence. They come up to her house and they're asking her, hey, can we use the phone? Can we come inside and cool off? And she says, I'm home alone. I don't like anyone on my property. Please go. They kept approaching her. She moved the newspaper on the table by her side. She moved the newspaper and her gun was sitting there and said, I'd really like you guys to leave. Well, they took off. They jumped the fence. She thought nothing of it. They called 911 and said, this woman just pulled a gun on us. Our car broke down. Law enforcement arrested her for aggravated assault.
For brandishing?
No, they said that she pointed it. And so he said they got that aggravated assault. While the case was going on, that a company told the attorney, we're no longer covering this case. Mm-hmm. And he said, but I'm maybe $10,000 away from this case being done. And they said, well, find another way. We're no longer paying your bills. And he found a way. He wasn't going to leave her hanging because he believed he's a Second Amendment attorney. He believes in this. And long story short, too late. She was found not guilty a few months later, and they had dropped her. And so he, at that point, said, I'll never take another case from one of those members of that company, because he gets invested personally in that when he's trying to help someone. And then to have the company drop them in the middle of it, it just didn't sit right with him.
Well, recoupment is not a guarantee. So let me be clear about that. A company that has a right to recover or right to recoupment, that's what it usually says in the language. It doesn't say that they always will. It says they have a right to. So it's they may recoup or recover some or all of the fees up to a certain dollar amount. Okay. It surprises me to hear that legal counsel was told midway through that they were stopping coverage, because that is a policy. Policy has language that doesn't allow them to just stop on a dime and say, we're not paying anything more. I would love to see what the language is in any coverage, including right to bear, to determine if there is a point where that company can pull out of the process and say, we're going to stop paying to defend you. Because most policies, even if they decide we're going to go up to verdict and we don't follow appeal, we won't pay for an appeal. If they start paying, they usually have to continue paying until they reach a verdict, the case is dismissed, or they reach their dollar cap. But that's why an insurance policy is important, because a policy has language that will protect me in case the attorney or the company that's paying the attorney decides to pull out. I have a civil action against that firm. Right. Or against that company, because now they have reneged on their contractual obligation to defend me.
Hey,
That's what an insurance policy gives you. That I don't know if right to bear gives you that same legal right for you. So I'm going to go back and see what else I find on the right to bear site. I did it like after I just got finished smashing some attorneys, so I didn't read every single thing, but
See,
I
some
was
got different,
wondering.
though. I think
Well, I tell
you
you,
have to say that.
how about this? My case went from big money to under double digits, so
Nice.
it was a good day. The other thing I wanted to ask you, Scott, is that you did mention it covers, I don't know if you said any weapon or any legal weapon used in self.
Weapon. Yeah.
Any hands?
Yep. Hands, feet.
Okay.
Yep. Baseball bat. My wife grabs, she goes to the kitchen to get a glass of water in the middle of the night, and there's a burglar there, and she grabs the Instant Pot with the sharp edges and goes to work. She's covered.
Okay.
Yep.
So somebody asks, can you tell us what right to bear offers that CCW Safe doesn't? So on here on this show, we have to mention the other company's name.
Absolutely.
It's difficult not to. So I don't know what CCW Safe offers or doesn't offer.
Neither do I. That's a problem for me answering that one. I if they know what CCW Safe offers compared to what I've mentioned that right to bear offers, that would be helpful. But I don't know enough about their program to answer intelligently for them.
So I have a question.
Oh, good.
For $11 a month, which is kind of what shows up and grabs people's attention. And I wanted to get coverage for the $11, $125 for the year.
Yep.
What do I get for that $11 a month that makes right to bear worth me even taking a chance on?
Well, you're going to get, again, you're going to get that unlimited criminal and civil defense policy. You're going to get the expert witness included if needed. And we're going to follow up on an answer with how many and dollar amount on that if there's a cap. The psychological support, up to 20 sessions for that. The gun confiscation replacement, the 24/7 attorney answered hotline. So you have that legal advice right away. We cover accidental discharge. We're again one of the only programs that will cover if you're in law enforcement or security. We cover you on or off duty. Some of the other programs will not cover you for an on duty incident. We cover you for both. We also have a non-emergency line. There are a lot of times that people hear something about guns, especially when we're talking with in Florida, we have for the concealed weapons license, there's a class involved. So when we talk to people at the class about this, a lot of these people, this is their first time ever being involved with guns. And so I always tell them, when you go to work tomorrow or whenever there's your next day at work, and you tell people, I went to a class, I'm getting my concealed weapons license, you're going to have people that tell you, oh, did you know that you can do this, this, and this? And you can't always trust that. What someone tells you. I got friends that if I listen to them, I know I'm going to jail. So I just don't listen to them. We have that.
I got a couple of them too.
Yeah, we got the non-emergency line. So if you have a question Monday through Friday, non-holidays, 9 to 5, you're not going to get an immediate answer. But you can call, get your question out there, and then an attorney will follow up with you within a few days and get that answer to you so you can stay legal. Because we don't want you to just need us when something's happened. We want you to know what you can do and be prepared. So if you have questions about the law, we can help you. And a little personal on that, I had to go to Massachusetts for a funeral. My cousin passed away, and it was unexpected. We're loading up the car because I have a 5-year-old, and he's not going to be good on that. So we're loading up the car, and I sent out the message, hey, this is my path. This is what I'm going. What are the laws I need to know? And before I left, thankfully, they said, hey, Scott, you sure you want to go through New Jersey and New York City with a gun? And I wasn't even thinking about it because I was just thinking about getting there for family. I changed the way I drove, so I didn't go through New York City, didn't go through New Jersey, so that what I was carrying was legal the entire time. So just having that knowledge base of being able to ask for legal advice outside of just the emergency is really important as well.
You got another good one, Real Deal?
So Right to Bear is a part of PSA, is that correct?
They're tied in with them, correct? Yes. Okay. Not really a part of, but yes, tied in with.
So this is a question you may not be able to ask, but what made you guys decide to dip your toe in this pond? What made you decide that you wanted to be an insurance company or give protection to people who carry firearms?
Well, I can't give the full answer for what the motive was for them, except for what I can say I've heard from them. And one of it was that the two that helped found Right to Bear had a background in insurance, and they also had a background in hunting and fishing and gun sports. And so they saw the erosion of Second Amendment. They saw the erosion of the rights that we're all having, and they wanted to help protect. And they saw people getting arrested for things that they didn't think maybe they should be arrested for. So they researched it and they went into it, and that's how they got into it. From what I've heard with them, they may be able to give a better answer. I can't give their motive, but in talking with them, and they also, I've never met a group of people, and this might sound cheesy, but that have such heart and care. Like every time I'm on the phone with them about something, it's, we care about you. We care about your family. We want they care about not just, and it's not just because I work with them, but they care about everyone. The members, they're invested in your whole well-being and getting through this. They're just unbelievable people.
Okay, awesome. This is a weird question, and I hope this never happens to anybody, but this is a question I think is worth to ask. Say I have a son, and he has a friend over, or his cousin comes over, and somehow he gets into my safe, and he accidentally shoots his friend or his cousin. Am I protected in any way under the cover?
So I will say, let's qualify this. Let's just say that you have the minor child coverage. Okay. We do cover accidental discharge. So that being said, yes, that if you had that minor child coverage, that would be a covered event, because we do cover accidental discharge. And I hope, again, you're right. I hope that never happens. Unfortunately, I do Google alerts, and I get alerts, and it's happening more frequently that kids are getting guns. And I can't stress enough how important it is to lock your stuff up so that kids can't get to them.
So, Scott, what happens when you get your Right to Bear? What do you call it? It's not a policy. So what do you call it?
It's your membership. So you'll get when you sign up in a person in an event, you get a temporary card. And then you'll get your digital membership card emailed to you, and then you'll have correspondence through email, and then there's a little welcome kit that gets sent to you.
So the membership is tied to your name.
Correct.
Okay. When you list the minor children, do you have to name the minor children, or does it matter?
Nope.
Okay.
As long as they live in your home full or part-time, and they're your child or a step or whatever, stepchild, then they're covered under that.
But it only covers you. It doesn't, if it's just if it's my membership,
yes,
and there's somebody else, say there's a visitor in my home.
Correct. It just covers you.
It only covers me. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I see people asking about CCW Safe.
Yep.
Whoever has CCW Safe, I'm going to post the link out there so you guys can come in and tell us what you like about it and what made you decide to go with CCW Safe. And let's see how Right to Bear compares. And now there's a question on the screen that says they pay $3,000 home crime scene cleanup.
We do not. No, we do not have that as part of ours.
Nice.
Are you planning on making any changes? Are they planning on making any changes anytime soon to add some of these other things? Maybe, for example, lost wage coverage during trial?
Red flag.
Not that I've heard, but what I'm going to do is kind of bring some of these things up to them, so that they know that these are the questions that are coming from people that are actively considering stuff like this, and that seems important to them, and I'm sure they'll weigh that out and look into that.
The reason I posed that specific question is because for most people, depending on who you work for and where you work, if you are arrested, they don't wait for the verdict, the trial. Right. They don't wait for anything. You will be terminated immediately. So now you don't have a source of income. And for people that have never been to trial or don't know anything about trials, you could be 30, 60, 90 days. It could be a year and a half out. It could be 18. I mean, depending on what the statute is in your state, it could be 2 years, 2 to 6 years. Yep. That's what the statutes run. So you have no income. Yep. And if you don't have income or lost wage replacement, you're out.
And look what happened with COVID. If you had a case that was supposed to go anytime during COVID, that got pushed back an extra year. So yeah, you're 100% right. I'll bring that up to them.
So that's a big deal.
Yes.
Yeah. And Scott, like what Steve is saying, red flag laws, these are way more important than silly training videos. We don't care about training videos.
Yep. Oh, I agree. I'm gonna tell you right now. I at the end of my career, part of my job duty towards the end was enforcing some of those red flag laws in the early days of the red flag laws in Florida, and it was a mess. And the most, I would say, my personal opinion, not Right to Bears, not anyone else's, the majority of the red flag laws that were done in the agencies that I was working with were not necessary. Mm-hmm. I can think of out of maybe 87 of them, I think 2 were where I looked at it and went, yeah, this is something, this is necessary. But a lot of them were completely unnecessary.
Because there's a lot of petty people out there, right?
Yes.
You get an argument with somebody and they know you have guns. They're petty and they call the police on you when you did absolutely nothing wrong. And then your whole life's turned upside down.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. Real deal or siege, you can answer. So we've heard what Scott has had to say about Right to Bear and, what's offered in the program. Speaking of red flag laws or whatever, red flag in general, what would be a red flag? What would make you say, nah, I don't know about Right to Bear? Or what would be something that says, well, I would go with Right to Bear in this case?
For me, the red flag laws that you guys don't cover is a red flag law. Is a red flag for me.
Well, and I don't know if
do cover it.
Oh, you do cover it.
I think we do cover it. I'm going to double check.
Okay.
But I'm inclined to say we do.
Okay. Well, then that's a plus. And then if somebody steals my gun out of my car and uses it in a crime, you guys won't protect me.
Yeah.
But other than that, I like what you're saying. I like what I'm hearing. I mean, you're way better than a lot of other ones out there.
And to cover that last one, if someone steals your gun and it's used in a crime, I do know that U.S. Law Shield in some states offers that coverage, but it's almost the same cost as your whole membership as an add-on. I want to say it's $84 a year, something like that.
It's $49 a year.
Yeah,
the gun owner identity theft, because it's the gun owner identity theft coverage, unless they've changed the price.
I'm almost positive it's like $49, I think, a year.
Okay.
I even thought it was cheaper than that, but I could. Yeah. I'm not sure. It's not 80. I know that much.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Yeah, we can look at that later. But when I worked with them, it was $80-something for that add-on. And one of the attorneys told me, that's the one thing they get almost zero calls about. And people were buying it and it was something that really wasn't needed.
My reservation is I'm sorry, Lito, what'd you say?
No, go ahead.
My reservation is you don't have a rapid response team. The attorney that responds is not in the state in which I live, more than likely. He could be, but it seems like there's going to have to be a liaison call in between.
Yep.
and you don't have income or lost wage replacement, because I think that's big.
Very fair. Very fair.
And for me, I'd rather if I had to use my gun and the police take my gun, I'd rather replace my own gun and have coverage in case somebody stole my gun out of my car.
Right.
And be covered.
Somebody stole his gun out of his car.
I'm just saying, that could happen.
This seems to be the issue of the night right here.
I don't
Billy, what's good, man?
For everyday carry.
Everything. Everything is good. CG Siege, good to see you. Real
Hey,
deal, my
you
brother.
too.
Fat Guy with Guns and RGG. Mr. Scott.
Yes, sir.
I know it's been a rough night. It ain't easy.
Yes.
But it just got harder.
All right.
Listen, every time we have somebody special come on the show,
Oh yeah.
what we do is we hit them with something that we call 5 on the fly. 5 on the fly is going to be 5 questions. I might throw in a couple bonus questions. 5 on the fly is 5 questions. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. But just give me your answer as quickly as possible. All right, Mr. Scott, you ready?
Let's try it.
I'm all right.
Hey.
Jenny Jones or Ricky Lake? Whew.
Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones. I'm with you on that one. Wu-Tang or Eminem?
Wu-Tang.
My boy.
Cash rules everything around me.
That's right. Karate Kid or Breakfast Club?
I'm going Karate Kid. That's a tough one. That's a tough
That
one.
That is. I hear you. All right, listen. What state do you live in?
Florida.
Okay. If you go to a Greek restaurant and they have this meat on a rotisserie and they cut it off, put it in a pita, put some white sauce and some lettuce, is that a gyro or a gyro?
Oh, see, I've always called it a gyro. Gyro.
Good answer. Scott. Good answer. That's actually the correct answer.
That's a good answer. I can't argue with that one.
I
Right.
didn't know there was questions.
Oh yeah, it gets good, man. It gets.
Is
good.
a hot dog a sandwich?
Is what? A hot dog a sandwich? No.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
I'm with that. All right. So listen, the last question of the night coming from this segment is going to come from RGG. He's going to ask you probably the most important. Listen, you can sell all the insurance, the coverage, the membership that you want to. You might drop the ball and lose it all tonight, bro.
This could ruin it all, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Question. All right, Scott.
Hopefully, Right to Bear still want to sponsor me after this one, but we're gonna find out what happens. All right.
All right.
You ready?
Let's go.
First of all, do you eat grits?
I have. I
You
don't
have.
regularly, but I have.
Okay. What'd you put on them? Because you can't eat grits plain.
Butter.
That's it.
Butter. Yeah.
Good man. Woo! You saved
All right.
yourself, Scott.
Yes.
All right.
Oh man, it almost got
That
bad.
was- That was hella neutral.
Siege kicked your ass tonight, but this is.
I
you know
did
what?
not.
Right there.
Memberships now.
Now I'm wondering what else do people put on grits?
Yeah,
Wow.
We don't have time for that conversation.
Come on.
That's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down, Scott.
I'll call you later about it.
All right, man.
So here's my take. I heard some things that I would have never thought of, which is exactly why I reached out to Siege and said, "Hey, I need you to come on and help us with this." The idea is not to bash Right to Bear. The idea is not to say, what's good or bad. Because I'm going to tell you, and I'll say the other company when we had the gentleman on here. Lord have mercy. I think that was when Siege really became famous because it went. It went bad
well
when it
for
wasn't
him.
intended to go bad. Like it was
didn't
like,
go well.
yeah,
for
it's
him.
like, wait, you guys don't really.
I had a great time.
That guy's still in his bedroom in a corner hugging.
He panicked. He kept saying, "My Wi-Fi is not working. My Wi-Fi is not working."
Yeah.
So you survived way better than the other guys. But here's the thing. Now, and I'm not just saying this because you guys decided to work with me. When I seen it, one of the first things people look at is how much you pay, right?
Yep.
A month.
Yep.
Or yearly. If for what you guys offer for $11 a month, I think is very competitive.
Yeah.
in terms of when it starts coming to the add-ons, right? So if I was talking about CCW Safe, US Law Shield, any of them, how much would I pay per month to US Law Shield or the other ones to get the things that you guys like to see in a policy or coverage? And I'm talking to Siege, Real Deal, for whoever you all go with.
So let's see.
Well, I can tell you, I just renewed my membership like last week.
Okay.
And it came out to be $280 for the year.
Okay, not bad. And what would outside of unlimited coverage, civil, criminal,
Yep.
the normal things, what are the extra things that made you say I gotta have this stuff and this is what makes it work out for me?
So what do I have? I have the red flag laws, I'm covered. I have, if somebody breaks in my car and steals my gun, I'm covered. I'm in a rough neighborhood, man.
Yeah, this yeah, I've seen your neighborhood.
You don't even got a neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I don't know who's gonna break in his car, but go ahead.
I come to the city.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, what else do I have? I mean, I have those things. I have basically everything you discussed, and I'm sure I have a few other things, but I can't think of it right offhand. Like I don't have the hunting because I don't really hunt. My wife's not on it because she said she didn't want to be on it. They cover my children. They cover, it doesn't matter if I use a gun or a baseball bat, I'm covered.
Yep.
Stuff. So.
And I'm glad you have something, whether any of your listeners or viewers, whether you choose right to bear based on this. I want everyone to have something, because in 2 decades in law enforcement, one thing I saw a lot of people go to jail because of politics, because the police didn't have enough, but they didn't want the backlash from the media, from the public. So they said, we'll make the arrest and let the state attorney drop it. And then the state attorney said, well, we don't want the backlash, so we'll take it to the judge. And it goes through the process. And I saw too many people be political pawns. And so I want everyone to have something. I prefer a right to bear. I believe in the product. And I think in the long run, you'll have a better product. But I want everyone to have something. MTZ, I'm talking to you. I want you to have something.
Yeah, right.
Well, for MTZ, since he said he didn't feel like he ever needed it, the big thing I always try to express to people is this: it may not be about you. It may be about your family and your loved ones. I always say, if you get into a situation where you have to defend your life with anything, if you have to defend yourself and you're out of commission, if you lose your job, even if you're locked up for a week, how is your family going to survive? How is that going to impact your family's level of comfort and living? What if there is a trial and it goes on for 2 years? How are you going to pay your bills, your mortgage, your rent, whatever? How are your kids going to continue going to school, activities, whatever you have to do? If you have to dig in your pocket, and I don't think people also understand how much a criminal trial can cost.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, 200,000 is where it starts.
Yep.
You're talking up easy 600,000-700,000, and that's if it's short-lived.
Right.
So think about the people that outside of yourself. What's going to happen if you have family and loved ones that depend on you? You may want to consider getting insurance to protect them in case you get in a situation. Suppose you're defending your family.
Right.
Yeah.
You may want to have that coverage.
That's the best reason I've heard ever for getting any product of self-defense insurance. So I'm going to borrow that line from you, and I'll credit you every time I use it.
You're going to have to send Lito a check if you credit.
Right.
And
So
you have
to send them a check.
Pays me to go to court. So if I have to go to court, I still get a paycheck.
Who does that?
Right.
That's another thing.
With who?
U.S. Law Shield. If I have to go to court, I get paid. I get
Is that something new they added?
I've been
It's
there.
been there
years.
for at least.
They've always had it since I've been.
It's been there for at least 3 years, at least 3. So they do have income replacement. That's why I said that's a big deal. And I said before,
Now, how
unless
much
you've
does that
got
add on?
money, if you've got some money stashed somewhere, or if your significant other is the breadwinner, or you have that kind of financing available, your savings are great, or you've got somewhere to go, then you're good. Maybe you don't need it. But if you don't have those financial resources, protect the people that you love.
And I want to put this out there, and this you can do the research and find. This is really simple to find, and this is a true case. So a lady left her husband because she was being abused, so she separated from her husband. She got USCCA for insurance. 3-4 days later, she met her husband in the parking lot because they were trading the kids. You know what I'm saying? They were meeting in public. Supposedly, he attacked her. She used her gun in self-defense. USCCA said, you know what? Here's $10,000, and we never want to see you again. We're done with you.
Yes, and that was also in Louisiana, which I think is where KTZ was from. MTZ is from. That was Louisiana, and that was she ended up suing them. She ended up I don't know what happened with the lawsuit, but she ended up being found guilty. Because she ended up not having an attorney.
She couldn't afford it.
Yeah, she couldn't afford it. So and that those are the ones that just break my heart, because she was, you know, I dealt with domestic violence in my job a lot, and a lot of times, you know, when women start to empower themselves, they get knocked down even more.
But that's also in the contract language. It says in a lot of these policies, memberships, whatever you call them, there is language in the contract that says if it, and this is outside of a red flag, if it is a domestic abuse where you are related by blood, marriage, separated, or divorced, you will not be covered. So be careful. Make sure you read what you get. Read it before you get it. Call and ask a question. If they can't answer you, say thank you so much and hang up. That is not the thing you want to buy. If the people I'm calling to ask about my coverage can't intelligently defend what they're trying to sell me, I don't want it.
Very
so
true.
Be really careful about that. If it's a domestic situation, there is some language that could exclude that coverage. So you want to know what the exclusions are under the policy. What don't you cover? And I don't mean, do you cover wage loss? Do you cover crime scene cleanup, which is kind of my favorite thing. I mean, are there situations that you don't cover? Like Real Deal said, I park my car, I get out of my car, somebody breaks the window and takes my firearm, and that's involved in something. Now that happens where I am a lot, unfortunately. People leave their firearms in their vehicle. So,
hey Scott, I want to run a scenario by you that kind of will mirror this. I get into a self-defense action, but during that, I cause a lot of property damage. I shoot out a storefront window. I put a couple holes in a very expensive vehicle. Everything is caught on camera. Am I left on my own to cover those expenses? Other people's property that weren't involved in the conflict?
So, and Siege might be able to correct me on this, but most likely those people are going to file a lawsuit against you. We'll cover the lawsuit. You know, we'll have the attorneys help defend against that. But if there is a judgment against you, we do not pay the judgment. We do not pay the monies. Is that what would happen, Siege? That it would be a lawsuit, correct? Yeah.
They would probably just file a claim. They would probably file it, not really a lawsuit, but file a claim against you. And they would probably file it against your, it's called a PUP, P-U-P, personal umbrella policy. If you don't have one, please get one. Or your homeowner's policy. Now, your homeowner's policy may reject it, but it may not, because you're within a legal boundary. And that policy will say these are the exclusions. If it's an illegal act or deemed illegal by law enforcement, it reads something like that, then it's not covered. But if you defend yourself, even if you're swinging a bat and you bash somebody's windshield, your personal umbrella or your homeowner's policy may cover you for, read the section that says liability and damage to other people and other property that you don't own. So not your own property. So check your policy or call me when you get it, and we'll look at it.
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
So let's say the lady that we were just discussing, right, was covered by you. Would you guys would you guys would have had her back?
No, just knowing those facts, yes, she would have been covered. If there was something different, if I don't know, another thing that could have come in is if she was the primary aggressor, which it doesn't sound like in everything I've heard that was the case. So I hate to give a blanket statement, but unless based on what we know in that situation, I believe, yes, we would have covered that as a self-defense claim.
Scott, can you have more than one case open at a time? Let's say while I'm out, whatever, you replace my gun, you give me a gun, something happens, I run into it, I got to use it again. Can I have two cases going on at once? Is that a problem?
No, there's no problem there. Yeah, as long as you here's the thing I tell you, keep paying your monthly or your annual membership dues. Don't let those fall off, and you're good. You know, if you cancel it after your first one, while you're involved with that, you're covered even if you drop off. But another case wouldn't pick up. But yeah, and I hope that doesn't happen to you, by the way.
I hope so too.
So a lot of self-defense issues, we always see it like a criminal approaching an innocent person or whatever. At times, it's just a heated scenario with two, innocent people that are well within their means of defending each other. If I had right to bear insurance or right to bear coverage, and the other fella had right to bear coverage, would you guys battle it out in court?
Wow, that's a great question. That's something I'm definitely gonna have to follow back up with Lito on afterwards to look into it. That's a really good question. I hadn't even considered the possibility. Let me make a note of that.
Well, what would usually happen, Billy, is that they just have to be, your counselor has to be from two different law firms. As long as they're from two different law firms, there's no conflict of interest, even if it's the same company. Because I handle claims like that all the time. There are intercompany claims. There could be 5 people, but I have separate attorneys for every person. So as long as counsel is from, as long as the attorneys don't have a professional relationship, you're fine. There should be no problem.
Thank you, Sage.
So let me slow things down. I just looked at the likes on this live. I think this has been an amazing live. If you guys don't mind, if you're in here, take a second and hit the like button for me, because we are behind big time. So I know everybody been listening and didn't get a chance to go hit the like button. I appreciate it. I definitely want to shout out Right to Bear for stepping into this jungle and taking these tough questions. But I appreciate that, Scott, because I think it's tough, man. And I don't matter. It doesn't matter which company comes in. There's going to be a lot of tough questions. I think that I feel like every company is missing something.
Oh,
but this is great information to take back.
Yep.
To take back to those guys, because I'm going to speak for myself. I think that the lost wages, thinking about it, is extremely important. I think that's something to definitely consider.
Yep. And I'm going to follow up with that. And I'm going to let you know. And can I ask you, if you ever bring another company in, can you drop me a link so I can watch? I want to see how they perform. I want to see.
Oh, nobody wins, bro. It's one of those things. They're not.
But they do get asked the same questions. I asked almost. In fact, Kaba asked 2 questions that I usually ask that I didn't. So.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the time for bringing us on here and letting us share. And again, I can't say enough. I hope everybody has something. I believe in right to bear, but I know that some people believe in something else. As long as you have something, man, I feel good. That's great. Siege is undefeated. And I saw the scroll earlier with RGG. If you go to the Protect with Bear website and you sign up for coverage, and you use that RGG code, you're going to get 10% off your first year. So, and that's going to be something that RGG can always offer. So if you go to Protect with Bear and sign up, any of your viewers, you get that 10% off. And here's the thing, you can cancel anytime. If you decide at some point that this isn't the program you want, I never want you to have something you don't need. If you find something better, then call us, cancel, get a partial refund, and get something that you believe in. And I hope I've convinced some of you to believe in Right to Bear. But I appreciate the time. This was fun.
I appreciate you
the
coming
5
by,
questions. That was great.
I got one more
You
for
sure?
Yeah.
Hey, Scott.
You
Hulk
meant that?
Hogan or Macho Man?
I'm going Macho Man. I'm going Macho Man.
brother.
Oh, yeah.
That's as difficult as it gets, man.
What happened to a
That's
Slim Jim?
yeah.
At least ask about some real fighters.
Hey, Scott.
Those are like fake
I got-
people.
What?
I got a
the-
question for you.
Just to ask about real fighters.
So let's say I'm involved in some road rage and I feel that my life is being threatened and I pull my gun out and use it. Do you protect me? Because road rage is a very hard thing to prove who started what.
Yeah, sure. So the most important thing is remember to whenever you're talking to us, to law enforcement, once you've talked to the attorney, is stick with that. And I hate to say victim mentality, but just always keep it that you were the victim in this and you did what you had to do to defend yourself. And road rage, although some people say, this is road rage is out of control and all this, if someone's trying to run you off the road, we all see it. I mean, that can be deadly consequences. That is a life or death situation. So yeah, if you defend yourself, 100% we've got your back.
Awesome.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
You guys are fairly new to the market. I mean, I'll say fairly new, right?
Yes.
So that means that you said earlier when you're talking to the guys kind of at the top of the chain who are kind of setting the boundary, so to speak, is this information that you could go back to them and be like, hey, man, these are good things that you should consider adding that would really make people say, yeah, Right to Bear is the one?
Oh, absolutely. I have a Monday morning call with the top people of the organization that I'm part of. Now I don't always give everything, but I'm free to say what I think. And this was set up for me to come and be here by the vice president of the company. And when I report back to him, I'm going to report directly back to him. Hey, it was a great show. They were real good people. They asked a lot of great questions. I got most of them right. And then I'm going to say, here's some things I need to follow up with Lido. And then here's some things that came up in the group. And they're not just talking to us. They've talked to, they've had USCCA in there. They've had other programs. These are the things that the people, our potential client base, customer base, these are the things that concern them. And they absolutely will take that to heart.
Oh, I'm going to give you some more to take back with you.
Okay.
And this is just me being straight up. U.S. Law Shield is winning right now. I haven't had them on yet, but they will be on here next. I'm going to bring them on, and we're going to drill them, and we're going to grill them, and we're going to see what they're made of. But at this point, it's sort of like, when I say winning, I mean like they seem to be the favorite in terms of all the things that they offer, and the price seems to be fair.
They do have a fair price. And I'm going to give full disclosure here. I used to work with U.S. Law Shield a while back. The U.S. Law Shield of today is different than the U.S. Law Shield of even 2 years ago, a year ago. So they do have a good base right now of customers. They have great support. But I am confident that the swing is happening, and a lot of, without going into too much of numbers, a lot of our facilities that offer Right to Bear to their students and to the people that come into their range or that come into their gun store, a lot of those facilities used to offer U.S. Law Shield. And I say used to because they were part of U.S. Law Shield, and we went in and showed what we have, and we showed our heart, and they went away from U.S. Law Shield, and now they're offering Right to Bear exclusively in their facilities. So they do have a head start, absolutely 100%. And there's a lot of great things about their program, but Right to Bear in time will far surpass them.
How long have you guys been open for business?
2 years.
And out of 2 years, what is your, well, I know it's only 2 years, but what is your success rate of people renewing their membership? And are you keeping long-term memberships, or are you just keep turning people over?
That I don't know. I don't know specific numbers of that. That's above my pay grade. So I don't know the answer there. But from the people that I personally, because I'm an instructor also, so I offer Right to Bear. The people that I've offered it to have renewed. They stick with it. So the people that I know personally, this is something that they stick with. But I don't know those numbers of renewal.
Okay.
Scott, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Only because you have that experience as an instructor. You have a class of 6 people, nervous young fella, and you have Right to Bear coverage, and you give your firearm to your trainee or your class person, and they have a negligent discharge, somebody gets hurt. How wrapped up in that are you in? Sorry.
Well, I have instructor insurance and business insurance and liability insurance that's going to probably cover all of that. I don't think Right to Bear is going to come into that play at all because I'm doing it as part of my business, and I have the insurances covering that.
And Right to Bear is not at the moment in speaks of instructor insurance, are they?
It's interesting you say that. Right to Bear is not. But I just had a discussion with them because my current instructor insurance is coming up for renewal. And I just was talking with the 2 top people, and that's something that because they do have that insurance background, that it's something that they're looking at adding. It wouldn't be necessarily through the Right to Bear straight the same way, but it's something that they're looking at offering.
Like a la carte type thing.
Yeah.
I think we clear up the red flag.
Ranges and gun stores and all that to offer insurance policies for them.
True. I think if we clear up the red flag and get some of that lost wages thing, I think we got something. I mean, we got something now, but I think we really got something if we can.
Well, then let's make it happen, Lito.
Add those. Yeah, man, that's right. We're gonna get on the phone with people and say, let's make it happen.
That's right.
That's right.
It's up to you.
But no, and that would be impressive if, you have these talks and you go around and you kind of see, where we can improve, and then you go make those changes.
Yep.
We'll definitely win some people over.
Yep.
For sure.
So I'll ask this: if I can get those changes made, both of them, the red flag. Well, we know red flag. Most likely that's yes. I'm going to double check on that, but that's yes. And we get the wage, and we get a rapid response team. Siege, can I get your blessing on the Right to Bear program if I get those 2 added?
Absolutely.
All right. Let me work on that then.
If you win Siege, you win everybody.
Yeah,
Siege is the key.
Siege is the one that's
absolutely true. If you win Siege, you win everybody.
Yep.
You know what we had to do? We had to make Siege be quiet one time to not say what insurance she had, because that would have been free marketing for the company.
Yeah.
So she just told us what the insurance offered, but she couldn't say who it was because everybody's listening to her. They know that she's going to go and read that policy inside and out.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you right now, the 2 top guys that you have, I think it would be amazing to set up a call with somebody like Siege, that people are going to respect that opinion and she knows her stuff.
Hey, Lito, if I can get them to do a call, I'll have them email you. Can you connect them with Siege to do a call, offline call? Just the 3
like you just did it.
Huh?
I feel like you just did it.
All right. We're going to make it happen, Siege.
I'm in.
All right. Yep. We'll get them. We'll get them in touch.
I like this, man. Change gonna come. That's what they told me.
That's it. That's how this community rolls, boy.
Billy, how's the weather down there in South Georgia, man?
Well, you know, I was showing my sexy legs because I got shorts on and all that. Sorry,
that.
Captain.
You got to do
Scott,
the
what part of Florida you in?
crime scene cleanup also.
I'm in Southwest Florida, down by Fort Myers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Crime scene cleanup too, Scott.
Yep. All right. Yep. Let me asterisk that. Well, all right. So
In the meantime, in between time, guys, I really want to, show some love to Right to Bear because I'm full disclaimer. I told him when you come on here, it's not gonna be peaches and cream. It's gonna be tough questions. It's gonna be great, and they insisted. Nobody shied away. They was like, no, we want the smoke. Let's go. Like, we want to answer these questions because I feel like after talking to the guys, I felt like they want to know what we're looking for. I really sensed that. It was almost like, yeah, let's hear what the people got to say.
I got something that I want to ask, and this is an offbeat question, but it's more common than you would think. And I thought we were out of the hard questions. Imagine a person with a wife, couple children, gets the coverage, family coverage, but the family is where the issue is. You know what I'm saying? Like the wife shoots the husband shoots the wife. They're both covered under the same ordeal. Shit.
Yeah, and that's where again we kind of talked about it with Real Deal, with the situation in Louisiana. So in that one, it's going to be with Right to Bear. There's going to have to be I don't want to say for sure, but I would imagine from what I've seen, there's going to have to be a decision somewhere of who's the primary aggressor, and we're defending the person who was using self-defense. Yeah. We're not going to defend the person who was the aggressor. And that could be tricky. In my 2 decades of law enforcement, sometimes you go to places and you don't know necessarily who the primary aggressor was. And I'm going to get real personal with you. When I was, 13 years old, my mom and her boyfriend were fighting, and I went up to see what was going on, and my mom popped him in the face, and he had his laundry basket. He dropped it, blood dripping down his face, and he just looked at me like, what am I supposed to do? And so I grabbed my mom. He got his stuff and he left. He was trying to leave. He left. 3 weeks later, I get a phone call from my mom, and I don't have a good relationship with her. 3 weeks later, I get a phone call from my mom. You need to come get me because he just got arrested because he beat me up. And it's like, you look at that and go, what was the scenario? I don't know. I don't want to say my mom was the aggressor, but I've seen her be the aggressor. Yeah. And so it's a fine line. It's hard sometimes to look at those situations and say this person definitely was the aggressor and this person definitely was defending themselves. So that's something that's going to have to, in that situation, kind of be determined. Who was using self-defense?
Sometimes it doesn't matter if it's an interpersonal relationship and it's domestic, they won't cover either person. So you have to read the membership or the policy language. I see that a lot. Yeah. It's really key that you read the language. It's tricky. It can be tricky, but you have to kind of make your way through it and pick up the phone or send the email and ask those questions, because you're right, Billy. If it's partners in a household and there's some kind of dispute, the policy normally would cover them, but not when it's against each other. They probably won't cover either one. There are always exceptions. Because then that's
in the Right to Bear language.
What's that?
Do you know if that's in the Right to Bear language?
I don't know. And that's something I'm hoping Siege is going to be able to see when she gets a copy of it. I don't remember seeing it in there. In some of the other policies I looked at, I did see it black and white. And one of the things, one of the companies used to say is, well, it's in there, but don't worry, we'll cover you. Like I've heard Siege say time and time again, if it's not written, it's not given. Yeah. So yes, definitely make sure.
Hey, Scott, I got 2 questions for you.
Yes.
So if I become a member today, right,
Yep.
and I pay a year, am I locked in on that price, or will I be paying the same price 5 years down the road, or will
Yes.
it go up every year?
Yep. No, we're inflation proof.
Okay.
Once you're in, you're in.
And then my other question is, what is your policy for husband, wife, and the children with all the bells and whistles for 1 year?
For 1 year, let me look at it real quick.
$300.
I was going to say, I think it's 300
Sounds good to me. 300.
or 335 with the bail thingy. Well, let's let Scott answer.
Yeah, let me do a calculation real quick. I was ready to go off our I ain't gonna tell anybody they're
Why
wrong.
am I
That's for
answering?
sure.
That was the first question I asked.
That was it.
What's the all-in price?
Well, so if you go with 50 state protection and bail on both too, it's going to be all in. If you put 50 state protection on both, bail bond on both, and the minor child on the primary, 405.
Oh damn, I was off by $100.
Yeah.
Because the spouse is 105. It's 125 for you.
Yep.
105 for the spouse. 35 for all state coverage. 35 for minor children. 35 for bail.
Yep.
Is that
then
it?
You
Everything?
can save 10%
Yeah, and
if you use the RGG code. I can tell you that.
And then if you get the other things, that will probably be add on, so that'll probably bring the price up a little bit.
No, I'm sorry.
Those are-
That's
it.
with
That's
everything.
everything.
Oh, if you
No,
want,
but I'm saying if you get like the red, or you get the other policies like cleanup, somebody breaks in your car, that would probably bring the price up. So
I'm sure there would be probably an increase depending on how they do it. There would probably be, yes, an increase.
The best way to cover yourself is not to look at how much don't look at how much it costs per thing or per year or per month first. No, figure out what kind of coverage you need first. What do you need and what can you take care of on your own?
Yep.
Then select the plan that you can best afford. So go do it the opposite way. It's much more efficient. Otherwise, you're trying to make a plan fit you that doesn't fit you.
Yeah.
Hey, Siege, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do some homeowner policies, would they cover the cleanup if there was an incident in your home?
They would probably cover. They would cover everything, but if there was damage from a firearm, let me think, homeowners. It would cover like floors, walls,
Right.
blood, guts, brains, all that stuff.
All the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So in that situation, some people that have a homeowner's policy, like you're saying, find what you need. If you have a homeowner's policy, then the crime scene cleanup might not be your most important thing that you're looking for. It might be the lost wages. It might be something else. So I was just curious about that.
It may cover to replace what was damaged, but not do the actual cleanup. That's what it is.
Okay.
So if your sofa was destroyed or the carpet on the floor, or they had to cut a piece, they would replace that. They would give you replacement or like, kind, and quality, or they would, if your carpet's 10 years old, they're going to take depreciation on it.
Gotcha.
So you're going to get a markdown, but they won't pay the crime scene guys to come in and do the disinfecting and the actual cleaning, but they will replace the items that were damaged. That's how it works.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Hi, Alex.
Here works for CCW. So.
Hi, DTC.
How you doing?
What's up, Alex?
I'm doing good. I'm hot. It's like 1 trillion degrees.
What? God.
Don't worry about it, man. Sometimes I kick kids out.
Oh my God, I'm freezing. He's hot.
Yeah, I can't believe he just said that. So I feel like Comment here works for CCW. Say.
Yeah, it almost seems like it.
I mean, they're a good company. There's no arguing that, but I feel like Bear Insurance is a pretty good company too. So,
yeah, I think Right to Bear has a case.
Yeah,
especially if we can get a few things added.
This is my opinion. I think CCW and Law Shield are the big brothers, and Right to Bear Arm is the cousin that come over every summer. But you know, he needs a little growing up to do, but he's with them. He's hanging out.
Yeah.
He has potential.
Yeah, I think
the
what's going to
cousin's
be
about to have
interesting to
a
me
growth
is
spurt.
sorry, Scott, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What's going to be interesting to me is to see where these add-ons go and where that price fluctuates. Hopefully, you know, like you said, it stays the same, but we all know the more given is the more cost. But I'd still like to see it be as competitive within, you know, the top 3 or 4 ranking competitors.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna go look. You know, when I get some time, I want to go look at, because I know CCW Safe has US Law Shield has like $11 a month plan as well, and just like Right to Bear, I'd like to look at them side by side and really do like
You'll find that they're very, very, very similar. Again, the Right to Bear adds the they cover the expert witness without an add-on fee, whereas you need the bail bond expert witness is a tied in with US Law Shield, and it's an extra fee for that. They don't offer the psychological support, and they don't offer the gun replacement. And Real Deal, you said they offer the lost wages. When I was dealing with them in Florida, that was something they never offered. So I'd have to look at that and look at Indiana and see what they're offering, because that was new to me as far as them.
Yeah.
I thought I saw
ask
that.
you one more question.
I was looking on their site.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you guys offer any educational information?
Yeah, so that's the one thing that I said we're kind of lacking a little bit on, and we're working on that and building that up. But that's something that the education and training we're doing. We're doing we're starting doing more seminars where we're bringing some attorneys out that we've worked with to come out and talk about the laws and help people understand the self-defense and those situations. So yeah, that's going to be our next big push is getting into education, not just for our members, but even for non-members. And that's one thing where when we do them, you know, the members are usually free or really discounted, and the non-members pay a little bit more money to go to them. And the only reason we charge any money at all for some of those events is when you have limited space, you know, you get situations where people will take up all the spots and never show up. So we love for people to be able to get involved that really want to show up. So that's something, those education events, those are going to be coming hard.
If I become a member, do I get a free backpack full of stuff?
Oh my God! Stop it!
Nothing's free.
Cut it out.
Hey, you know why? Because you're good enough that you don't have to give away a bunch of free junk to get people joking.
Hey, Real Deal. If you sign up tonight, if you sign up tonight, I'll give you my personal hat. All right. And
I want some free stuff.
That hat too big, man.
It's got a patch you can take off too.
Oh, wait, BP has a question. He said, "What is the psychological?" Wait, where did it go? Oh,
psychological support.
That is the counseling. The 20 sessions.
Right?
Of counseling. Yes. Yes.
Do you get to pick your own counselor, or do you have to go through?
Yes.
Your
You do. Yeah. You'll pick one, and yep.
Very nice.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
You survived, Scott.
Yeah.
Hey, man, actually, you did pretty good, Scott.
You did great.
Thanks.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Hey, Scott.
I don't know what they told you before you came on, but good grief.
Hey, Scott. You know what? You could be the little cousin, but as the two big brothers and little cousins walking to the beach, they're stepping over the wino, and that's USCCA.
That's right.
Damn.
Oh, that's cold.
Oh, that's great.
Yep, he just made USCCA lose some more people.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I didn't know winos slept by the beach. That's a good life, right?
You haven't
They
been to
have
the
a
beach.
comb. They comb the beach, Billy. They have a comb. They sit there.
You just want to stay away
Mm.
from those companies that have recoupment language in their membership policy, contract, whatever. And you also want to make sure you have the right as an individual to file an action against that company if they stop defending you without due cause. And it should tell you in their language why they can stop defending you and at what point. So if you don't see that, ask. If they can't answer, say thank you very much and end that phone call, because that's not a good thing to you. They have to be able to tell you beyond what they pay. If something goes wrong, suppose the attorney takes a misstep. You don't want a company you can't get recoupment from that attorney personally. Right. Like you don't want language that's going to keep you away from that. You want language that's going to allow you to pursue, like you said, the woman who was given $10,000 and dropped, a woman that was told they were no longer going to pay for her defense. You want to be able to go back against that company. You don't want language in there that says you don't have a right to file a suit against us. So you have to read it.
Yep.
And you have to see more than just what they cover and the monthly fees. I need the actual literature that's telling me who wrote it, who underwrote it, what it covers, what the exclusions are, what the exceptions are, so that I know what I'm really buying.
Yep.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that available somewhere?
Yeah, she's going to get that when she emails info@protectwithbear. They'll get that copy. But also, I'm going to talk with Frank and Perry, the top two people. I'm going to get with them and say, hey, you need to have a meeting with Siege and with Lido and talk about this. And they'll be open with you about everything. And I hope that I'm going to put in there about the things that the people want. And Siege, I know you will. But I hope you'll reiterate that to them too, how much that comes up on these calls. Because I get the sense that this isn't the first time those coverage questions have come up for the different people who've been on here. So obviously people want it, and to be the best, you got to give the people what they want, or what they need, and sometimes show them what they need, but also give them what they want for a fair price. Yeah. And so I'll ask for you to be an ally on that, to also mention that to them when you speak with them, and we'll try to get some change. And then we'll call it the Siege coverage. You want all this other stuff for a little bit more, you get the Siege coverage.
I want that Siege plan.
That'll be huge. We got the Siege. I got the Siege plan. That's the one. It covers.
Yo, RGG.
Yeah.
MFF. USCCA, right to bed.
I'm gonna go with that R2B.
Siege had it on plan. Oh man.
A red flag should be if you see some white guy on YouTube with a green behind him saying, "I'm out here packing up a bunch of free stuff for people for insurance." You know it's a red flag.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him.
Don't listen.
Yeah.
That's US.
I'm gonna give you a fun fact, Pat, before you go. Fun fact here about Real Deal. He has a pet pig that's the same size as Zach sitting down below you, fat guy. This is a true story, man. And Real Deal posted pictures of his pig who was sedated, and his legs and arms locked in the air like this. He was laid on his back. Yeah, it's amazing, man.
I gotta know, what's the pig's name?
Tank.
Because he's
like a tank.
I always said that if I ever got a pig, and I might get some hate for this one, but I always said if I ever got a pig, I'm going to name him Kevin, because when he dies, the next day we're going to have Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Damn it, God, you might have messed everything up. That was
you just lost all your cells. No.
Scott, is there like a referral sign up for customers? Like, let's say I'm a member and I sign people up. Is there some sort of referral program?
You can become an affiliate and get an affiliate link to do that. And to do that, send an email to info at Right to Bear. And they don't want just everybody having that. We want people that are going to have some influence and we don't mean you have to have thousands or hundreds of thousands, but it's something special. But we do love referrals when people do it. And what I do is, you know, with some of the gun stores and gun ranges that I work with on a regular basis, if their people come up to, hey, you know, I got my friend to sign up and all that, I'll give them some patches or hats, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, we do have a program that will help you with that.
Hey, yo, SS, you good now?
You good?
Hey, Scott, what I will do is I'm going to call Law Shield tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk to them and see if they want to play with you in the sandbox.
Don't snitch, real deal.
See if they want to be, if they would play nice with each other. And if they say yes, I may pick you up too.
All right. Well, they probably not too big on my name, so it'd be interesting to hear
Scott,
that.
they right to bed. You say Scott, they're gonna be like,
yeah.
Damn, you're gonna drop your ass.
There's an interesting dynamic between U.S. Law Shield and Right to Bear. I'll just leave it at that. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm curious to see who they're going to have come on. I'd love to know who's coming on. I want to be a fly on the wall.
I'm sure.
Well, you know what? You can be
right now watching you, man.
So you can watch it. Click on.
Yeah, whoever's going to be on is watching us right now.
They watching us right now.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guaranteed, man. So U.S. Law Shield, you are next, and then we're gonna get CCW safe, and then that'll kind of cover the spectrum for the most part. Yeah, that'll be everybody.
All right.
See how it goes, man. Hey, Scott, I appreciate you, brother, for coming through. You weathered the storm, man. We're not just saying this. You did great, man. You didn't sweat. You didn't sweat, man. You know,
no sweat.
You can always go back. I think I still have it up there. I don't know if I took the live down because it just felt bad, but you could see Siege sitting next to that guy, and she was so calm like she is right now when she was asking questions. And this dude, he just fell apart. Kava, I'm so sorry because Kava bought.
Sorry, Kava. Yeah, that was Kava's cousin.
And it was it just went bad unintentionally. And then the real deal has the most beef with USCCA, and he didn't hold back. He was worse that night than he is now when the guy was here. So it was. It was.
I'll have to go check that one out if it's there.
It was bad, man.
I appreciate all of you for taking the time to ask me the questions, because I'd rather everybody get to know the answers and know the question, or know what we are. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
So if that's it, everybody, thank you guys, man, for all the questions. Siege, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
MFF.
Siege, can you see it?
What is that?
We can't see that.
That's you. Alex.
Oh, I see it a little bit now.
Do I look good?
You got your headphones on.
Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome.
Go to sleep, bro.
Yeah, Alex, we got to find him something to do, man. He just sat there and drew Siege.
Well, he cracked his phone, so he has to do something.
Oh,
no.
Real deal. Thank you.
Scott, you guys cover phones? Just kidding.
Stop it.
Oh man, it was a great episode though. It was very informative.
Scott wasn't too bad, right, guys? I'm just looking at the chat, man. Great job, Scott.
Scott did an excellent job.
I'm sure it was a running bet out there. He's not gonna make it. There's no way. So somebody lost some money tonight. Scott made it, guys.
I think people are betting that you would pull a Fred Sanford.
This is the big one. I'm coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go. I think Real Deal started. He's getting a little restless. So we're gonna go ahead and end this live, man. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Everybody. I'll see you guys on Friday night.
All right. Peace. Thanks, everyone.